Hey, good morning, everyone. Trust everyone's having a good closure to your week. Here on Thursday, we're going to share our screen. Um, want to share a little bit on the sermon there that the Lord gave us on Sunday. Um, One we entitled "It's All About Love." And I've enjoyed the devotions of the week. But the verse that I want to talk about is something that we didn't really go into a lot of detail. Uh, but the scriptures at the very beginning um, in Matthew in 24:3. This is Jesus talking to his disciples, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be a sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" A lot of people asking that question nowadays, the end of times, and we don't know. We can see things line up, but we've been able to see things line up for quite some time. So I can tell you when the Lord's coming back, when He's ready, when it's that appointed time. No one knows when that is. But and He said, "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another." And mentioned that Sunday that probably never a time in my life have we seen this. I'm sure others that maybe during wars, or even maybe during the civil rights movements and things like that. Have there been a divided nation? But just the hatred of humans now in my lifetime is definitely at an all-time high. Um, and it says, "And because of iniquity," okay, um, because iniquity shall abound, iniquity being those things that's not of God, evil, sin, um, the heart of many shall wax cold. And that's the verse we want to look at and talk about just a minute in our devotion today. The heart of many shall wax cold. And we think about, I'd said before that, God's eternal and He's always been and always will be. But then the scripture also says that God is love. And so, because God is love, God's been loving since the very beginning. Um, and we said that He planted that seed, because of when the fall of man occurred in Genesis. He plants that seed of love in His Son, who, in the New Testament, sends Jesus into the world to be the ultimate sacrifice. Okay. And the price that Christ paid on the cross is that seed of love that has grown, and it grows in the heart of us as believers. So then, um, because of iniquity and abounding in the world, it says the hearts of many shall wax cold. And we know that. I think of that in gardening terms. You know, um, things don't grow well in cold weather. Things grow well when it's warm. Things grow well when it's been cultivated, when it's tilled up, when it's soft. Um, Things will grow. And so, because of people in the world today, and I think this goes for believers as well as non believers, that the heart of many shall wax cold. And therefore, think of wax. Cold wax is very hard, and a cold, hardened heart is going to be full of bitterness. It's going to be full of pride. It's going to be full of lots of things that will prevent love from growing. And so, my challenge to us, and for all of us, the saved and the unsaved as well, is for us to take inventory of our hearts. What's inside of Jason? What's inside of my heart that would prevent God's love from growing? Um, and when we find those things, we need to get rid of them. If pride is an issue in my life, love can't grow inside of me. If we talked about the bookkeeping. If I'm interested in keeping books and getting revenge on people who's offended me or whatever else, then God's love's not going to grow in me. I have to have you know, a warm heart. I have to have fallow ground that will allow, that love to grow in me. Um, and so as we talk about the end of times, and the fact that we said we don't know when it is, but we do know that we can see the hatred and the betrayal of people, um, and people being offended is all around us. And so, my challenge to you today, here on this Thursday, is take an inventory of your heart. Is your heart allowing God's love to grow in it? Because I said, the thing that this world needs more than anything else, we don't need new technology. We don't need bigger churches. We don't need, you know, more things. We need more love. We need more love. And the only way we can have more love, it's got to start with us as Christians. And so, is God's love able to grow in your heart? Something to think of for all of us. And let's allow that love to grow. So when people talk about you, when people talk about Mount Olive Church, or if you don't go to Mount Olive Church, when people talk about the church you do go to, let the one thing that they talk about is they sure do love people there, or they sure do love people, you as an individual as well. So pray you got something out of this. I love you, and I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Let's go praying for those that's hurting in our community.